Hi, I'm Kathy Mills from Short Film Edits, and I'm here with Kiki Frags for an interview today. How are you?
Kathy, what's up? We have known each other for quite some time, so thank you for having me. I really appreciate how patient you've been, guys. She's been so patient and lovely, trying to make this work. So, Kathy, thank you for having me.
Anytime. Can we start this with you telling us a little bit about you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am 18 years old, perfect student in school. Can't even keep a straight face. No, I am a 30-year-old playing an 18-year-old sometimes, who you know just on a day-to-day basis doesn't really know what he's doing. So, but in life right now, I was born in uh, upstate New York. I moved to Los Angeles when I was 23. Thought I was going to be doing something completely different with my life. Thought I was going to be a lawyer, but COVID hit, kind of took me down the path of becoming an actor, leading into that a little bit more. And now I've found myself in the vertical space, and here I'm talking to you. So that's kind of a little fast rundown about me and how you and I got connected.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to hit you with a big question first. Um, if someone was to watch all of your roles back to back, what subtle habit do you think they'd notice about your acting?
I love this question. Gosh, I think I put a little bit of me in each role. I think there's always a tick you'll see out of me. That's like, oh, that's not Harvey, that's not Luke, that's not X, Y, and Z character or Levi or name any of them that I've played. That's Kiki all of a sudden flashing himself. Sometimes on accident, sometimes on purpose. Um, but I do try to put a little bit of myself in the role. So to answer your question, um, I give smile eyes a lot. You'll see me definitely go full face grin or a cheeky smile um, that will be flashed really quickly at some point. Because I think it's my way of expressing how grateful I am for each role I get and kind of showing something of me a little bit that you'll see. So definitely the cheeky smile. Even if I'm a villain, there'll be sometimes one thrown in where you'll be like, "Why the fudge is he smiling right now? He's supposed to be an asshole." But gotta kind of gotta make it your signature every so often. So yeah, I think it's smiling with my whole face. I really put a lot of energy into that. So that's one. That's a great question. I've never had anyone ask me that before.
Thank you. Maybe you find joy in being the asshole. That's why you're smiling.
That's a good spin. Maybe something so new that I'm like, haha, or I don't know what I'm doing. Like, oh, I'm about to choke you right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What kind of character pushes you the most as an actor?
Oh, what's funny is definitely not the villain. Honestly, those are the ones that you kind of see me go and be something completely different in each one. Either a sadistic, crazy guy or cold and calculated. Some of the more newer ones, I've definitely been a little bit more, I'd say reserved. But in my earlier years, like or earlier, acting roles, definitely taking the character above and beyond. So really, just playing with the villain has been more enjoyable than not. And normally, I feel like there's less emphasis on the villain because obviously he's not the lead. So the money that's put into that character is not as costly to the production, so they're not paying as much attention. It's still important. But the trickier characters are definitely the lead roles specifically, though, and that's obvious. They're going to be the lead roles are going to be difficult. Specifically, the ones that actually show no emotion, who have to be cold and calculated, almost like a robot. And I know a lot of actors and I like have talked about it, and we agree that you want to kind of show, something. but actually it's that restraint that's the hardest part where something happened in your life and you just can't react, and that's not you as a person. You're like, oh my god, my ex just left me, I'm gonna be upset. I might even, if I really care about this person, I might even like shed a tear or two if it's been years, and we've had like a really deep history. But these lead roles just are like, okay, and that's it. And you just watch them walk out the door, and you just can't express yourself, or you have to just stay even keel. And I think sometimes just doing that is the hardest thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in some experiences, you see them walk out the door, and that's a good thing.
Sometimes, but you can't even react. You can't react either. You're like,
Mm,
and you just rip a good, like, no emotion, no smile. And you can't flinch. It's got to be
oh gosh,
like
okay.
nothing. You can't reveal anything. And sometimes that's the hardest thing,
Mm,
is not showing anything. You're a man of ice. You are unbroken.
mm,
Nothing will get to you. You're impenetrable.
yeah. Okay. All right. Um, if a character you've already played had their own spin-off, which one would be the most interesting to explore deeper and why?
Mm, mm. Ooh, I would love to get the chance to play a younger Mel from My Cursed Alpha. I would love to see how he got to where he was. And likewise, to follow up on that one, is I'd like to see a younger Levi from How to Dump a Hockey Star, because in that one he is an established hockey player. He's actually called old a lot. He was on the other side of his career. He's in his 30s. He's a veteran of the league, and now they're younger, more faster players. So I think seeing him probably be a little bit more angry and passionate, try to rise through ranks um, of hockey stardom would be a lot of fun. So I think those two would be tremendous fun to play. Um, and then last but not least, uh, is one of my earlier verticals, but it'd be fun to see how all these guys got together. Would be, how did the Dilfs guys all meet and room together?
Mm,
Like I think seeing the young dads like slowly lose themselves in their marriage would be really gritty and like tough. And you can kind of see how each dad, shout out to David Rice and shout out to Tyler Scher, seeing Mason and Landon and Eli all kind of battle that more psychological role. So there's a couple I have to give you, but those are the three. And I think there'd be a lot to unpack there.
yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Doof one. Unfortunately, it was the interactive one, so unless you had the coins, you couldn't pick the ending, which was a bit frustrating. But yeah,
Yeah, I get
yeah,
it. I get it.
yeah. Okay. If someone handed you a role you weren't sure you could pull off, what's the first thing you'd try to do to crack it?
Hmm. You know what? If I thought I wasn't good for a role, I would. It's funny. I'm very careful about choosing roles that I think I can do and I can't. So all of a sudden I get offered something that I can't do. Um, I have a good example. I was offered. This is a great example. I was offered to do a vertical that is predominantly in Spanish. Actually, all of it's in Spanish. And although I can speak, enough of Spanish, I've studied it for 10 years, and I can understand it decently well. Speaking it for me is a whole nother ballpark, as well as sounding authentic. To me, it's literally sounding like a guy who is slightly racist trying to come up with a Spanish with Spanish, uh, cultural appropriation, lines that just don't make sense. Like yo entiendo español, but I have like an American accent when I say it. Uh, you know, uh, yo parlo español, pero yo soy un gringo. Like I'm not gonna go and be like, hola, ¿qué tal? Me llamo Kiki. You know, ¿Cómo estás? Like I just don't want to like lean into that too much. It'd be too hard for me without
Mm.
sounding authentic or anything like that. So I actually gave up the role immediately. I was like, as I'm in over my head. Um, and I passed it on to someone who actually could do it. So if I
Yeah.
can't do it, I'll know my limitations. But at the same time, for roles that I think that there's a chance I can practice, 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 rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Uh, Run lines with whoever and whenever. You better believe there's been times where I've questioned myself on sets that I've already completed
Yeah.
and ran lines over and over again, go beat by beat, take everything hour by hour, minute by minute, and really sat there. So, shout out to anyone who, sometimes has to stick it out, believe in yourself, know your limitations, but control the things that you can control and don't give up until, you have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good advice. I mean, I can see like in some verticals you see like you could like there's a few that the same vertical, how they, are practically the same writing in some of them. And you can see some actors who play them. I mean, you're all doing a great job, especially with the time frame that you get. But you could be like, I don't think you fit that role like exactly right. Um, so it's good when you notice that at the beginning.
It happens. It happens. And, sometimes, shout out to my other vertical actors out there. I know
Mm,
we're all trying to make the most of it. When you get booked in a role, you just are so blessed. A
yeah.
lot of us know how grateful we are, when you get that one. Because there's some actors who go months and months not getting an audition even, let alone a callback and booking it. So, um, I can't forget how although I've had a really, really good streak this year, I really can't forget, that it's not, it's not always been my situation. It's not anyone's situation. It seems currently,
Mm,
I feel like a lot of vertical actors right now is more and more time has passed. More vertical actors have entered the frame, or actors now are vertical actors. And there's more competition now than ever.
yeah.
So. So I know I'm grateful for every role that I keep on getting. I know that as each month passes by, I've said this out before, and I don't think anyone's really clocked it, but this is a crazy stat that every single actor and actress I've worked with, from all the way back with Eric, who's led and supported, I'm like 99% certain that they are still in the vertical actors community in some way, shape, or
Mm,
form. I'm like, there might be one or two who've stepped away from the game a little bit.
yeah.
Um, I think actually two are coming up into my head, but like 90% of them are still in the game. And
That's cool.
that it's really a cool stat, but also goes to show you that as time passes, no one's leaving and there's more actors that are joining in. So
Yeah.
actors, anyone who's watching, take that for what it is that, we got to keep your head up, know that it's competitive, know that it'll keep getting more competitive. So always just keep on working on yourself. Try to be the best version you can be. I know I got to listen to that advice too as I drink this diet Coke Zero. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, the verticals are growing as well, and you guys are growing with them, and I love that. So,
it's been a crazy ride.
yes, it has. Okay. If you could acquire a skill set from any actor you've worked with, what would it be and why?
Mm. God, there's a couple that come into my mind.
Hmm.
Um, there's one actor, he's terrific. born and raised in London, living in the United States. His name is Joey. He was on two of my projects with me. Um, one with Noah Burnley as the lead. The other one, I was the lead with Hannah Record. And this kid, Joey, is such a terrific actor. Um, he's flat out amazing. I've never seen such range before in my life, and his ability to naturally just fit into a role um, is crazy impressive. So, shout out to you, Joey. You're you're unreal. I think about your performances a lot, man. Um, and then uh, I'd say another actor who has really, really just impressed me throughout my time um, working on these projects has been Hannah Record. She is someone who I have learned so much from. She is also with actually on Joe with Joey's one too. So that project I learned a lot from these two. She's a great actress, but what she really helped me with is her ability just to like smile through the storms. Vertical sets are crazy, and you sometimes start doubting yourself. Like you said, you might not be fit for a role or things like that. And this girl is one of the most resilient girls I've met and worked with. So shout out to Hannah. She's tremendous. And then last but not least is a girl named Candace Miscus. She's so freaking talented. It's wild. I'm truly impressed by everything she does. She's a class act. She is someone who has such poise and grace when she rocks on camera. She treats everyone as an equal, and she's just really smart. She's just a really really smart individual. And me and my New York self like appreciate somebody who is smart and hardworking, and she really brings it to the table. So shout out to Candace on this.
Yeah, so many talented people.
I've never worked with Cayman, but this is also a shout out to Cayman. If you're listening, buddy,
Oh,
I never worked with you, but man, I'm trying to be like you. Okay, then I'm going to give a quick shout out, even though I've never worked with him before. I'm trying to be like two other people, Dan Yongma and Cayman. So
mhm.
you two, trying to be like you two. God, y'all are class acts. I I know the question can't include you because I've never worked with you, but add you two to the list.
hmm Yeah, I had a great chat with Dan in an interview, and he's very smart. He knows his stuff.
You know
Okay.
I love smart people. Just
hmm
and Dan's smart.
Yeah, he's very smart. Yeah. How do you handle scenes that require quick chemistry with a new co-star?
Shout out to Mariah Boone on this one. Going back to Dilfs. Day one of set, never met my co-star. First scene of the day, raw intimacy makeout scene on the principal's desk. Boom. Perfect example of, we're getting thrown into it, and she she just came to play and put my mind at ease, and we did the scene, no problem, no problem.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing you can do is show a little vulnerability, lower your guard, don't come in too too rigid. You can see it on
Mm,
camera. You do got to expose yourself a little bit, and luckily we kind of shot the shit. Part of my language pretty quickly, and kind of got to do a quick little like introduction to each other. Like, hey, my name's Kiki. I'm 30 years old. Blah 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 blah. My favorite animal is a brown bear. And she's like, hi, my name's Mariah. Mariah, I have three dogs. X, Y, and Z dogs. I'm like this, that, the other. Live in Arizona. Hi, nice to meet you. Blah blah blah. And you're like, just kind of riff through everything really quickly,
yeah.
just to get to know each other for a split second before you have to go into something intimate.
Wouldn't it be nice if they didn't do intimacy scenes on the first day? Like, leave it to the second day?
The second day, I think, is golden because if you wait till the end, I mean, nothing's bad has happened to me, but like, wait till the end, like, a lot of time on set, people's attitudes might change. They might be like genuinely sick of people. Again, not my cup of tea, not my problem. But the first day is also again like I told you that's been in my ballpark where it's like, oh wow, I got to kiss you now, and I don't even know
Mm-hmm.
your last name. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So so yeah, I think second day is perfect.
Yeah. I think second day is good. Okay. When you are building a character, what's the smallest detail that ends up making the biggest difference for you?
Speed of the speaker. Is he cold and calculated? Does he speak slower and always thinking? Or is he quick-witted and is just ripping things fast and he's already ready to go and he's two steps ahead? Um, it's crazy how much the speed, not even the tone, but just the speed at which you get sentences out really plays a part in how the scene progresses. Can make it way more captivating on both sides if you're speaking fast or slow.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that's I like to play with a lot.
Mm.
Haven't perfected it yet, but I play with it, and I think that's something that's always going to be a big help for me in my acting as I move forward. I try to play with my voice here and there, but definitely the speed. Still always trying to figure out the best way of doing a character based on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's very jittery, unfortunately. So I apologize to everybody. The reception's not great. So what's something you think people misunderstand about acting?
Mm, misunderstanding. Um, I don't know. That's a tough question. Um, how much time actually you waste on set? I think people think you just
Mm,
go in, do your scenes, you get it quick. They have no idea how much time on set you're not actually acting. They're setting up lights, they're doing makeup, you're getting into wardrobe for the next scene. Like a scene, so all the prep work to do the scene takes way more time than the actual scene themselves.
yeah.
Um, and I think that's sometimes overlooked a little bit. Like what do we do on set? There's if you don't utilize your time well on set, you could waste a lot of hours. But it's not like you have the capacity to go and look at my phone. Like I don't feel good reading text messages or answering stuff on Instagram. When you're on set, like you still could be doing things like we call it blocking, where you go and rehearse the scene and figure out where you're going to stand before you do the scene. Then you can go and rehearse lines. Then you can go and also make sure that you're properly hydrated and use the restroom while you still have the chance. You can go and try to network and make sure that your co-star and you have good chemistry. There's a lot of like things that don't waste time on set. You might have a lot of it, but by the time that your scene's up, you should be ready to go unless we're behind and like you're just frantically running. If you utilize your time well, it should be the project should be pretty smooth for you.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
also
So I
heard
think,
that, sorry, I also heard on set that a big saying is hurry up and wait. So you got to hurry
yep,
up on set, but
just
you
like
also waiting. Yeah.
just like the military, hurry up and wait.
Mm,
Yeah. Like hurry up and then stay in the corner. Like it's very true. Hurry up and wait. I've definitely heard the same saying too. And Um, again, I think it's very, very difficult for an actor to utilize that time properly because you still have personal stuff in your life too that you got to figure out. And hours go by. You do, and I do, like I said, try to maintain, my outside life and can't let that go too much. But you still got to be professional, and it gets hard. It gets hard. Um, I know I struggle with it immensely, and I really try my best, but um, it's not always perfect.
yeah. Yeah. All right. Is there anything you want anybody to know about you or your work?
Hmm. Yeah. In case it's not obvious, everyone, the roles I play are not a portrayal of who I am. I don't think it needs to be said, but more oftentimes, more recently, like I've done a couple villain roles and people are like, is he actually like this? I'm like, no, this
Hmm.
is, I thought everyone knew this is just, acting. Like, this is not
Yeah.
real. No, people aren't falling in love, usually, not all the time. There's definitely
Mm,
been, some people on set who have found, a nice relationship and, are still together. But, um, God, no, like, this is a job. This is a job. So everyone, um, just know like any character I play, the closest character that's probably like me, go check it out. There's two. Transformation, which is out on Drama Short, and another one on Drama Wave, which the names change a couple times. But it's like Selling Beverly Hills or something along the lines of that. It used to be like Selling Beverly Hills in like 10 days. Again, like, it's changed a couple times where I should know it, but it's actually one of my favorite verticals. That's actually where you see like I am doing things as myself. It's probably one of the only two roles I've done. Like you'll see more ticks of who I am. I'm not really trying to hide it. I feel more comfortable in that role just because like I feel like he aligns with me, the guy. So, it's not always the case, but yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And you were mentioning before that you've got a new one coming up.
Yeah, so I have two coming out, both on drama TV, I believe. Um, and it's exciting. They're both coming out on December 5th, December 6th for us in the west side or the east side of the world. And it's exciting. I don't want to reveal too much because I'm not supposed to. I just know that those are the dates. Go check it out. And I've had a bunch of verticals released this past week. It's been like crazy. Someone go, it's Kiki week. I'm like, you know what? Thanks. I appreciate it. Not going to shy away from that one.
No.
Where I've had three come out, so I'm gonna have five come out within the past like 7 days, something crazy like that.
That's cool.
Um, really, really lucky. Uh, so grateful, but a little also kind of like, dang, I wish I could have spaced this out a little bit more. Don't want to don't want to piss off anyone. People are like, there's a lot of Kiki right
Mm.
now.
I think that's
So
possible. No, no. Um, how has being an athlete and a coach shaped your work ethic in acting?
oh, whew. I'm a little upset. This is the first year that I can't. For those of you who don't know, I am or was the head coach at Santa Monica High School for lacrosse there. Awesome opportunity, great boys, and they were the best part of my day. Even when I was doing verticals, I luckily I was able to do how to dump a hockey start during their spring break, and I remember really incorporating like the athleticism of Levi and being an athlete again, using some of these kids' drive and morale to like inspire me. As I know, as cliche as that sounds, because I also was like an athlete when I was in college and high school, so it was still familiar, but it definitely blending both my life and the life of a coach, or my athletic life and my life as a coach really did come into play a lot in verticals. It definitely taught me to go into every scene with 100% conviction. Um, I think I have the competitive mindset where I'm the hardest person on myself. It's why I run marathons in my spare time. I'm a big runner. Um, and in my older years, I fell in love with that, um, and that's helped me tremendously with verticals because I like running for hours and talking about sitting, hurry up and doing nothing. That's kind of what a marathon is. I'm just hurrying up and literally doing nothing while I'm just running. Like nothing's going on for like 3 hours. So creating this like mental fortitude, creating the physical um, strength to kind of do a long day on set because sometimes it's tough. I think that's another misconception to go back to your question is like you're gotta like hold like a crunch for a very long time because like the camera angle needs you to like look sexy laying in bed, but like the girl's
Mm.
like on you and you gotta like still look great without trembling or sweating. Like I know it sounds silly, but like it really is like sometimes doing a plank for a really long time or like having to do stunts where you have to like fake getting hit by a car or like I had to in China more recently on my most one of my most recent projects that just came out. I'd like throw myself down like a flight of stairs,
Mm.
and like completely wipe out on purpose. And I've had to now chuck myself down a couple flight of stairs. And you got to make sure you take care of yourself. So there's a lot of little things that kind of have gone into coaching, being athletic, and applying that to my vertical self. So um, I think it's been such a wonderful opportunity that I've had, and I've had such a diverse career. It's given me a lot of inspiration as I do my roles.
Did you have a good stunt coordinator on set when you were doing those, like throwing yourself downstairs?
Yeah, yeah, like I felt safe. If I
Yeah.
didn't, you wouldn't have seen on camera. Um, always safe. They'd always check in with me. Um, I have some minor stunt training that I've done out in China. So, learning to fall properly, learning, arms and how to properly handle weaponry, is something that's very, very important to me. So I definitely make sure I don't joke around. I know I'm very bubbly, but right when stunts and weapons come out,
Serious face. Yep.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. We have to be because otherwise mistakes can happen. And I mean, I've heard, actors have accidents on set, not by purpose or anything, but yeah, you got to be safe. So,
gotta be
yeah.
safe.
Yeah. Okay. What's one acting note or piece of direction that's really stuck with you?
Um, So this is pretty technical. This is a good one though for any actor who knows watching. Probably they probably already know it. Uh, it's called steal their mark. And what you do is if anyone walks off or out of frame, say two people are facing each other and the camera is hitting this person and I'm like right here. So if they all of a sudden say like, I hate you, go F yourself, and then they turn and walk away, take two steps forward and say, "Oh yeah, well I hate you too," and then turn around. Now all of a sudden the camera's hitting you for a split second. That might be usable. It might not be. The director might say, "Kiki, what are you doing? Don't do that." Um, but at least you're getting a chance just to get an extra, shot of coverage. Um, it helps continue the scene a little bit. I know it's very nuanced. You're like, I was talking about like what piece of advice can you give? Like being positive. Well, that's like very technical. So that's just an intricate one. I highly recommend, stealing that one. And um, that was such a good piece of advice from the man, the myth, the legend, Tate Doppler. Taught me that one. So that's a shout out to you, Tate. I still use it to this day.
Mm. And extra footage is great at any point because it's more for them to work with editing and things like that. They may even be able to use that shot later for something else that's not particularly related to that scene.
Exactly, exactly.
Mm.
Anything that might bridge the story together a little bit more. I'd want somebody to steal mine because like anything that that just can continue the scene a little bit. It can just add so much more.
Yeah, yeah. I know you've got a time frame, so I'll be just a couple more questions.
Oh, you're
If you
good.
could go
Cool.
back, if you could go back and relive a single day in your career, which day would you pick?
Oh man. I'd want to do, and it was very successful, but I'd want to do um, my cursed alpha's mate um, day one or two because those days I'm not proud of myself. Um, I I was distracted. Um, I had a lot going on. It's no excuse, but I didn't come as prepared as I should have been. And I still have regrets about it. It still eats at me inside, knowing that I, again, didn't listen to my own advice, being like, come prepared, come ready, practice, practice, practice. Um, that this is me being very honest. That I didn't come prepared, and I didn't want to, continue the shoot, um, going down this path. So um, I know I had to really look at myself. I wanted to make sure that I was making the director, producer, and other actors on set, feel proud. Where I wasn't pulling my weight to the fullest. And luckily I kicked my ass into gear, right where, never too little, never too late, but right where I needed to. I should have done it earlier, but like definitely turned it up, like really turned it up. Um, like didn't hold back. Like I really dove in.
Mm,
Better late than never. Better late than never. But
mm,
really, really put my all in for the rest of it. And it's safe to say that the vertical, I think it's my second most popular one out of all mine. And some of people's their favorites, according to the people that have been so kind to write to me, that they've really felt the character. But I'm telling you right now, like there were some doubts on my end, talking about like a role where you might not feel like you're the best fit, but now I know I can do it. I know I can. I have the strength to fight through, and people think I'm like a perfect alpha. Like I look great doing it. So they gave me the confidence to kind of rebuild that. So shout out to the people that believed in me. Shout out to everyone on that project because I really could have let myself down and let you down, but everyone really gave me that chance to shine.
mm. Well, let me just start off by saying we're all human. So we all sometimes go, like, obviously, the actors go on set sometimes not being their complete selves, but there is no point in you going back and kicking yourself for something you can't change. And I know that's easier
No,
said
but it's a
than
good life
done,
lesson.
but
Good life lesson.
mm, yeah. All right. Um, okay, last question. What does a good day on set look like for you?
The exact opposite of those first 2 days that when I'm down to myself and I'm just hard and I'm just not present. The days that feel as if they're already written, that that you're almost in a vertical themselves because things are just magically happening perfectly. The director is yelling cut, saying fantastic and moving on. Your co-stars are all glowing like they have makeup before they even get into the makeup chair. Your head is clear, you're not sick, you look well rested, you have energy even though you might have only gotten like 4 hours of sleep the night before. You just wake up on the right side of the bed and you're just ready to act. You're ready to go. They have all the crafty and snacks that you could only have imagined in your dreams on set for that one. It's like they knew. It's like poetry in motion. Those are the days where you just are so thankful. You can put away all the bad ones. You arrive to set. It could be the first day, and like all your friends are there. It's a director that you know. It's like, oh, this is gonna be a good one. Like you're jazzed up. You're excited. It makes you really appreciate why you're doing the job. Um,
Mm,
so that's what a perfect day looks like. You get all your lines out perfectly and clean. You're doing one take wonders left and right. You catch a stunt that everyone's like, oh, this is gonna take like all day, and somehow somebody just like does it perfectly on the first try, and you're like, did we just get that? All right, moving on. Like, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's poetry in motion. It's you can't explain it. Some days really do happen like that, and I think I wouldn't be the only one who can agree that when those days happen, you're like, this is why I do it.
Yeah. And then on those days you get to go home earlier would be great too.
Sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
sometimes.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to have this interview with me. I know that we've had some scheduling things, but thank you.
Are you kidding? Short films underscore edit. Kathy, the OG, the one and only. You've been supporting me for way too long, so I just wanted to make sure that I can show my appreciation back.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. I know you're busy, so I'll let you go and I'll talk to you again very soon.
I'll chat you probably later tonight. Take care.
Bye.